Evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay. Welcome to G9ijaTV. This is the new edition of the Big Mic, okay? And what we're really talking about today is the actual challenge, the freshers challenge, the EKSU kind. So you are in EKSU Adwekiti, yeah?
Yes.
So we're just checking just to be sure that we are not in I will see anything. Anyway, so what I wanted to ask you is that just a couple of questions.
Okay.
What's your impression of Adoekiti generally? When you first got there, what really, what is your take, about the town before we even get to university? Because I know you've never been to Adoekiti before. You understand? For
Yes.
somebody that literally grew up in Benin, so coming down to Ado would be like, should I say culture shock, even though you're in the same Nigeria. So what would you say to that? So what's your first impression?
Firstly, I it felt like I was going to the village
You felt like
because
you felt like you were going to
yes, because they
um
they they had
I'm
they
talking
had
of
they
Ado
actually
Ekiti.
have
Ado
very good
Ekiti is the
roads.
capital of Ekiti State. You've
Yes.
not remember that you have not even got into Aromoko, all those other areas and all that, you know? So tell me, so what was the first impression what struck you? You said,
At first, I felt like I'm coming to the village because the whole setting was this village setting, and then where I'm from is way better than Ekiti. So
ah, Ekiti
though
people,
they have
they will
good
fight
roads, so
you.
they have good roads like their
Hello?
express. Their express is well done, no potholes, nothing. And then it was easy to locate where I was going to. It was very
Oh,
easy
okay.
to locate where I was going to. So when I got
Okay.
to my friend's place at school side, like it's very close to the school,
Okay.
they didn't have running waters
Okay.
and
Oh, I'm,
they
I'm
don't
coming.
have lights.
I'm coming to that. You are jumping the gun. Don't worry. We're going to is step by step.
Okay.
Okay. So, your first impression was that obviously Benin is, Benin
Way
City
better
now.
than this place.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But I remember when if you are saying that it looked like the village, so imagine what it was like for us when we were there. When it was Oswa, because when it was Oswa, that was when I was there, and trust me, wow, the experience was quite nice, very quiet. Not all the people that are making noise in the ears now, so I don't know what you're talking about. Right. Okay. So the next thing I basically want to ask you is this. So, how was the accommodation situation?
I think they collected a lot of students. They gave a lot of students admission this year. So getting accommodation in EKSU is not easy. It's not even funny. And the accommodation over there is quite expensive compared to what I have imagined in my head.
Okay.
So and then most of the accommodation they have, they are actually very far from school. The ones closer is either taken or it's way more than my bargain, like it's way more than my expectations.
So, are you saying that it was quite expensive? Basically, that it was something that you think it was just was it? Should I say like outrageous or it was just expensive?
It was outrageous because I feel like as for it's for them to have hostels in a campus close to the campus, it should be more like cheaper for everybody to be able to afford it. And even these houses I'm talking about, it's not like they have running water or light or something that is making it, giving this
Wait,
price.
hang on. Are you telling me that the where you invariably got did not have
Yes.
running water
No.
and it did not have light?
Yes.
Or
And
maybe it was the
the
kind of
well
house you
water
went
they
for now.
have,
Maybe there was the kind of house.
the well water they have is very bad. Like very, very bad.
Really?
Very bad. They depend on this they don't have, like, they don't pump the well, right? So their own is when it rains, it's like it fills up to the brim, right? Then when it's dry season, we suffer it. So they don't even have, like, future means of putting water in the well.
Okay. Um, I think we had. I wouldn't say our experience was that bad. Where we were at that point in time was called off campus, and that was not
Okay.
really bad at all. Yes, where we were was the off campus, and I knew that at least there was water. Although there, in most cases, I think rarely do we not have water. I can't remember. Yeah, we do have to fetch water sometimes, just downstairs. The place that the building now has been demolished now. So I remember it's a building that was owned by a gentleman by Chief Olaoba. So he's late now. I think he died about I think about four. Is it almost 4 years? About 4 years ago. So it was just it was quite an experience for us. So obviously it's different from what you guys had. You guys had main campus that you guys can actually handle, where you have all your social stuff and things. For us, it was quite different. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, so what about the transportation? You know, what was the transport system like for you, or the access? I know you're not coming from where you were staying. You said it was close to the campus. Is it not?
It's not close to the campus. It's quite far from the campus.
Okay, so okay, it was
So
quite far. Okay, we had a similar experience, and I knew that then we used to jump on anything that moves. The only thing that we didn't see any car we could jump on. Anything that moves, it was just everybody chasing vehicle. We were in Aduikiti proper, so we had to go down to get to the campus. So you're telling me that the actual transport system was not really that great. Is that what you're saying?
now, with the fact that there is fuel scarcity, so it's adding more to the whole transportation. Because where I'm staying, right, I have to take a bike, and then we have
Okay,
early morning classes like GST, like it starts by 7. So getting
okay,
bike that early morning, it's very, very difficult because we have other students, like other new students staying in that same area. So everybody is like, jumping on any
rushing there. Okay.
free bikes that is
So
not carrying anybody.
does the university have like I mean, do they have their own transport system in terms of they
Yes,
have
they do, but it's
university
inside the
campus
school.
buses? Yeah.
Yes, they do. It's inside the school, not outside campus.
Okay. Inside the school. Okay. So they were internal. So there are internal buses that run around the campus. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, but for those of you who are outside, who were coming in from Aduikiti, it was more of a challenge, or in your own
Yes.
words, anyway.
Very more of a challenge for me.
Okay. So, you reckon that the university ought to provide like a transfer system from outside outside the
Yes.
university. We think, well, from outside the university to the university for students who are staying outside off campus.
Yes.
Okay. So, now, so this is about your perspective of the people there generally. So, I will restrict it to the university. So, do you think, in your own view, what has been your experience with people on campus? Lecturers, other students, and all that. So, do you think they are quite, obviously you have older students there. So, do you think they are quite welcoming? So, what's your take really, or what's your view?
I won't say I won't say they are not welcoming. At the same time, I won't say they are welcoming. In the sense
Ah,
that I do not understand Yoruba,
this one,
right?
this is Giadu. What do you mean? You say
I'm
that they are
sitting on the
welcoming.
fence. I'm sitting on the
You
fence.
know, we're talking of Ekiti State University. They're very nice people down there. Very nice, very great. Uh, so your own. Okay, all right. Okay, this I will deal with that question. So first of all, tell me why you think they are not welcoming. Then you now tell me as well why you think they are welcoming. Yeah. So let's do it like
Okay,
that.
why I think they are not welcoming is the fact that they think students have money, right? So when you
They
go
think
to price
students have
something,
money.
yes,
Okay.
and we don't have money.
Would you be surprised that every university campus, have you visited any of your friends in other campus at all?
Yes, I have. And things in school areas are very expensive.
So those other places you went to, they were very nice. They were giving you guys free candy, free pounded yam, and free everything. So it's because of they are not giving you free food. So that's why they are not that well. So that's why they are not that welcoming. Eh?
No, no.
Okay, all right, okay. I'm listening to that.
I think I was just
So
expecting too much, right? Plus, when they know that you do not understand Yoruba, they get on you with that. They make things like very, very expensive for you to get. I'm not saying
okay,
they are
so they think
tribalistic.
if they know that you are not an indigene or you are not, you don't understand
Yes,
Yoruba, so they
yes.
increase. Are you saying that they increase or what? I don't want to put words in your
They
mouth.
increase their
So
prices. They inflate the prices.
they, wow, okay, oh,
That's my
that's
own
surprising.
experience. So
I used to think that something like that was something that took place with because I had the experience of that in Lagos, where there was the time I actually wanted to buy yam, and this guy, the aboki, now it's the aboki that sell yam now. So
yes.
and so I think we were haggling over how much to pay. We were saying that we wanted to pay 500, and he said no, that is 1,000. Then after a while, he just left angrily. Then later, just he, I think he just went a few yards down the road. Then an Hausa lady actually stopped him. And the next thing, I knew they don't know each other. It's not as if they knew each other and stuff like that. So, because of the way they interacted and all that, yes, they greeted each other. Then I now noticed that, so that was now because I was with somebody that understood Hausa. And the person said that, can you imagine that people were begging this guy for 500? That he actually sold that yam for 500 to that Hausa lady. Yeah. So, and this was what we were actually getting. We never knew, that was my first, that was the first time. So I'm like, is that for real? So I now started to now ask others, if they had the similar experience. And they said, yes, that if you don't, if we could speak Hausa, that they would be like, no problem. You might even get it for almost free. I doubt that
I
anyway,
don't
but,
think that favoritism is common in Yoruba, so I don't think so. Because I've
okay.
noticed that if you're a Yoruba person and you're buying a business or a market from another Yoruba person, they don't do that. Oh, you're from my side, you understand my language, kind of, friendship or
Okay.
something. It's strictly business, and sometimes
Okay.
they add prices to their own fellow Yoruba people too.
Mm,
They do
okay.
that a lot in Ekiti.
So, for instance, now, so do you reckon if that, do you think that would be something that happens in, say, in Edo State?
Nah, nah.
You don't
Buying,
think so?
see, I can beat my chest and tell you that if you meet an Edo person, if he tells you this is a particular price of something, that is it.
Edo
They are
people
this
like
type of
business.
person that they don't lie. They tell you the way it is.
So you reckon that if somebody, say for instance, there now, you are okay. Say if a northerner comes down to Benin now, wants to buy something, so they won't look at it and say, this is this is a
They
northerner.
do.
Let's
They do.
increase the
That's what
price.
I'm saying. That they like Yoruba people. They don't give favors to people that like to their own people. If you look at the Igbos now, I've gone to the market with my friend and I wanted to get a slide, right? So I was like, let's go to this particular guy's shop. When we got there, we found out that the guy was an
Hmm.
Igbo person, and my friend she's also an Igbo person, and she understands the language. So I pinched her and I said, "Speak your language." And she did, and the man was like, like this whole welcoming spirit, like he's happy to see his people, like his person from the same state, like
Is a king's sister.
yes. And then he was
Hmm.
like, I will do you well, I will do you well. Even when I picked a slide, me, I had to even lie so that it will favor me too. I told him my name was Munachi, and my name is not Munachi, but because I said my name was Munachi, and he sold the slippers at the rate of 5K. slippers that was 9.5. He
So
bought
you
it
were
down to
doing
5K.
deceptive, should I say, false product description? Okay, all right. So in this case, a false customer description. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you.
So it's not common with the Yorubas. It's not common at all. Even in Edo State too, if you speak like if you speak broken, even if you don't speak like Benin, like you don't speak their language, but if you speak broken, they will know that this person are among us. They won't want to like give you price that they will give an outsider. But it's not common in
Oh,
Yorubas. It's not common. They do that to even their own people.
wow. That's the sweeping statement too. Right.
I'm holding
Okay.
it up with
So
my chest.
okay. So why do you think they are welcoming now? Because I see that you flog the why they are not welcoming. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why are they, why are you looking up as if you are okay? What should I say? Oh, yeah.
So the first time I got
Mm-hmm.
to EKSU, right, there is
Right.
this
Okay.
caretaker. He's not. He's a caretaker to my friend's hostel, right? So he was being.
Mm.
I felt he was being extra nice because he helped me to look for an apartment. Even when I said no,
Okay.
this one I don't like it. This one I don't like it. He still like make sure that I got it. Make sure they didn't cheat me. Like that from the beginning to the end, he made sure that I was okay and I was comfortable and I was getting what I'm paying for. So that's one aspect I think they I think probably they are welcoming, right? But still, he was not doing that for free. I'm not going to cast him. So, but we know, but I still think they
And
have this.
fine, he was not doing it for free, so you still felt it was still going over the call of duty.
Yes, to do
Mm.
that for me, even if he doesn't know me.
Okay. All right. And you are pretty sure that's the reason why it's been nice.
Yes.
I'm just asking.
No, that's why. Okay,
All right.
that's why.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I think it's been nice, or probably because I'm
Oh,
a
okay.
friend to
Is
one
that
of
the
his
only
friends.
one? Is that the only? That's the only description you have.
That's the only person that has actually welcomed me.
That the only person. And you're
Yes, in
using that.
in Ekiti.
Okay. Right. Okay. So the question I want to ask you. So the next one I want to ask you is this. Um. So during your, briefly, what was the challenges that you were facing on campus when you were trying to do your registration?
It took me 2 weeks to locate my department, to locate my
Eh?
cosmates.
Two. It took you
Yes,
2 weeks
yes,
to
to
locate your
locate my
department.
cosmates. Yes, and my department.
Ah, wait. I don't understand. Don't they have a department there already?
They do. Okay, sorry. I meant to say it took me 2 weeks to locate my cosmates, like for them to add me to a group chat where I can get updates on
Okay. Okay.
lectures and all that. So during these 2 weeks, I was going about paying for other of my bills, like my school bills, school fees, acceptance fees, smart school fees, and all that. Ah, I
Okay.
suffered a lot. I suffered a lot.
You suffered a lot. Okay.
I
Okay.
went
All right. Okay.
to our
I won't say more than
department.
that.
I went
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Go
our
on, please.
department and I could not
Okay.
find anybody that was offering the same course with me. So when I
Hmm.
got back to my friend's hostel, my friend actually helped me to talk to someone that is in the same department but in education. So he's like a general
Okay.
governor for education. So he actually helped me to contact someone from chemistry education to get my own governor's number.
Hmm.
So after the whole 2 weeks of searching and no results, I finally got the number. And then my governor, he used me to do shakara for 2 days. He didn't reply my text messages, nothing. Not I was calling him. He's always telling me I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. Finally, he added me to the group. And then first day of lecture in EKSU,
Okay.
I trekked. I trekked. looking for the particular hall they were hosting the class. When I got
Okay.
there, I could not see anywhere to sit down because I think that particular day we're having maths. So most of
Okay.
other departments were offering the same thing. So the class was filled up. I could not get anywhere to sit. I had to go and stand at the front.
Mm.
So I think that was the worst experience ever.
Wow. So okay. Um. So I think the last question I'm just going to ask you now. So it's basically, so what out of I mean, what do you think that university could have done better? What do you think, to help the students who are just coming in as freshers? What do you think they can actually do better to make the experience for others that will be coming after you much more easier?
Well, for me, the only part I had issues with was locating my own department, my course mates, and all
Mm,
that. There are people that do have like siblings or friends in the school that would that know their way around and could take them around. But we that we don't
okay.
even have anybody there, it was really difficult for us to locate some
Wow.
certain places in the school. And I think I really think if it's possible for them to put a link to each department, like to each course governors on the school portal, so that when you are given admission and you're able to log into the school portal, you'll be able to get
Mm,
into your um, department group on time.
okay. So the last, okay, let me just say the last question. I knew that you just finished your exams and everything. So what was the experience like for you? And what would you advise those who are coming in? That if you're coming into Adu, and they said exams is coming up, this is what you should actually do so that you don't fall through, or rather you don't go through some negative experience. So the idea is that they can learn from what you've got to say.
Okay, so if you're coming to EKSU, one thing is if JAMB has written admission on process, run down to school immediately and start receiving lectures and start preparing. Because EKSU they don't slow down. As you're entering, you are
Okay,
receiving bus goes. So they
okay.
don't
So
slow down
that
at
means that
all.
they don't slow down at all, even though that, oh, so now those of you that did your registration late,
They don't
that
slow
okay, let's
down
give
at
you 1 week
all.
grace, 4 days
Even on the
grace,
day of our exam, somebody
three
resumed
days
that
grace.
same day.
Ah,
Somebody
wow.
resumed that same day, and the person has no choice but to join us to do the exam. So if you like you have read before, or if you like you've
Hmm.
not read before, you shall write exam. So that's something I would actually advise anybody. Because if you are waiting for it to show on the school portal, OYO for you.
Mm, okay. Wow. So I'm so glad to actually hear that. So, um, thank you so much for actually coming down and talking to us. So it's been quite interesting and insight. I haven't been to Ado for, I think it will be like about 2 years now. And the last time I was there, everything seems to, the university itself, now there is building everywhere. You that you are seeing it for the first time, you
There's
are
still
saying that
bushes, so there's still bushes. There's still
it's
bushes
still
there.
bushy. You are doing
Yes.
shakara. Maybe you are not happy that you didn't put in. Should I say? I don't let me mention it. If I mention that one, the one that is in that one is in Edo State. Don't do. Have you been to the one in Edo State? Eh? Have you been to the one in Edo State? Eh? Ah, see that you are talking that one. You can't compare with EKSU. Because of what? At least that one too. Maybe there is bush around the place there. So you stop. There is bush around the place there too. Like,
Let's just say
most of
there's
my
bushes
I have
in,
friends
in
that
all
went there, so
universities
I don't want
then.
them to now come on I don't want them to come on our platform and now begin to protest because I know they are quite good at that one. Before really, all the alumni will just come up and say, hey, we're not going to agree. Thank you so much. It's been quite a pleasure talking to you. And we're looking to see you some other time. Maybe by the time you finish your, um, should I say that like maybe another 6 months. Maybe by the time you finish your first year, then we'll ask you the same question. So we will now see how it progresses, see what your views are and all. Okay, so thank you so much, Raimat. It's nice seeing you and talking to you. And we'll see you again in another edition of our The Big Mic. And thank you so much and good night. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye. Bye. I was supposed to be playing music. The music refused to play. All right, thank
Mr.
you.
T, I like that water